Don't get me wrong, I don't hate these sports. It's just I'd much prefer in a more subtle situations where I can play these, where I don't.
You rather play if you can be having fun.
Yeah,
rather
exactly.
Than feeling pressure to
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's where I think I shined the most is when I had no pressure on me.
My name is Sammy Ator. CrossFit is a big part of my life. I'm here 6 days a week, 4 weeks a month, and 12 months a year.
I played t-ball in kindergarten, and it was just something every kid did. And I didn't start watching the Phillies until I'd say like first grade, and that's what really got me into sports. My dad was watching the Phillies one day. He said, "Yo, Sammy, come over here." And I was watching the Phillies. He was showing me Ryan Howard, Chase Utley, Jimmy Rollins, and I mean that day, something switched in me where I just instantly fell in love with the Phillies, and I really enjoyed playing baseball my elementary school years.
With Sammy, we started with just wiffle ball in the backyard and pretending that we were certain players, and that's how I kind of got him into the history of the game a little bit. Oh, you're going to be Mike Schmidt, or you're going to, this one's Ryan Howard, or whatever the case may be.
When Sammy would play sports, he was always very social, but his self-confidence was very lacking. If he messed up, he would be really hard on himself.
Probably in 7th grade is when I started noticing I was getting pretty hard on myself. With me dropping a ball, not getting a grounder, swinging balls and getting out. And it started to get in my head, and it definitely got worse over the years. I played baseball and basketball until 10th grade, and I dropped both of those at the same exact time because I don't know how the people play 3 or 2 sports at the same exact time. For me, one sport was hard enough. So it got to a breaking point where I couldn't take it anymore, and
He enjoyed his last year, I believe, but then I think the next year you go to the next level as a coach and as a parent. I think he felt that he was kind of done. Like that's where I'm at now, and I'm just going to enjoy baseball at another as a fan.
I don't remember what year I dropped baseball. It could have been 10th, or I really think it was 9th grade. I don't have an exact answer, but I just remember when I started playing volleyball, it was my only sport. And I had no knowledge of volleyball. I didn't know how to do this. I had no knowledge. I'm going to these practices, and I'm doing okay. I'm definitely on the same level as everyone else. But as the more practices went on, the more games went on, other people started getting better at the sport than I was, and that's what made me feel like I was bringing the team down. I was getting in my head. I don't think the coach really liked me because of how much I got in my head, but I don't think he understood that. I was in my head, and I felt like all eyeballs were on me, and I had the huge light on my head, which it wasn't. I was in my head, but I would keep screwing up because I'd let my mind get to me.
When he played volleyball, I could see a lack of confidence, and I could actually see it increasing and increasing as he would come out. I could see the anxiety as he would come out in the court, and if he did not perform, if his serve didn't get over the net, or I remember the one time he went to spike the ball and ball went into the net and kind of back at him and hit him, and it's embarrassing because you're exposed in volleyball. You don't have a helmet on, to hide behind.
When he would play baseball or play volleyball and he would get so down on himself, he would get so frustrated, and it was very hard to talk to him because he was in this like I have to be perfect mindset.
I'd go to games and think about going home. What athlete is? I feel like I shouldn't be playing these sports if I'm going to a game and not wanting to play. So when I quit volleyball in 2019 in the summer, I wanted to be active. I didn't want to just lay on my couch and do nothing.
Sammy and I don't know if he had told you this, but he and I actually used to do our own lifting together. And it wasn't CrossFit, it was just traditional lifting. And I felt like that was a good segue for him because we bought a gym in 2019. And he didn't really know much about CrossFit. My wife was about the only one that knew everything about it because she used to go and come back, and we didn't really know much about it.
Sammy was introduced to CrossFit back, oh gosh, it would have been at my old gym. It was BA Athletics, and we had started, they had wanted to do a kids program, a kids strength program, and get kids involved in learning how to squat and do different movements.
She wanted to buy a gym. She kind of convinced me, and so wanted to go in and buy this gym. And it was probably one of the best things we've ever done, especially for Sammy.
I picked up CrossFit, which I had experience from, and it was something I loved. I started CrossFit at 5th grade, I want to say, and I was very spotty with me showing up to CrossFit, but man, I loved how intense it was. I wasn't bringing anyone down. There wasn't any eyes on me, and it was something that I could push myself in. My mom and I would do workouts in the summer. We would have the garage doors open. She would plan out the workout, and it was so much fun.
There's definitely good in social media, and then there's definitely bad in social media. And I feel very concerned for the younger generation coming up because you never get away from it.
This was a time where I had Snapchat, I had Instagram. This was 2019, so I didn't have TikTok yet, but I would go through some of the Discover page on Snapchat that shows a bunch of people working out and getting strong, and these people were massive. I mean, biceps of a mountain, and I'm working out so hard in CrossFit, and I'm just like, man, how are these people working out this hard? And I mean, I'm doing a really good job at what I'm doing. Why am I not looking like them? And my mom would tell me, it takes time, it takes time. So I keep working out, I keep working out. I did abs every day because I wanted the six-pack abs and look real aesthetic, but it just wasn't happening quick. I wanted things to happen fast and quick, which working out, everything takes time. You got to be patient. That's where I learned my patience. But it was just really demotivating to me to see people this massive. I was like, man, if I have to work out 2 times harder than I already do to look like them, I'll never look like that.
You know, definitely he would get frustrated at time and he would have struggles. It wasn't like it was all, you know, sunshine and rainbows. There were definitely hills and valleys.
Every time I'd go to the gym, I would just feel, I'd leave the gym feeling just, I could have went harder, or I need to change my workout. It's like, I want to look like him. As years went on, I started to realize, man, all these people were on steroids. It just didn't sink in with me. It made me feel a big relief, like come off of my shoulders. But it took, 4 years for that relief to get off my shoulders, to realize that these guys were actually on steroids. I was so fed up with all the fitness influencers who are telling me what to do and what I shouldn't do. So I just deleted YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, and it was getting so much in my head. It wasn't the fitness part that was getting in my head. It was also a bunch of other variables that were getting into my head. But fitness was definitely one of them. And I was like, I'll just focus on me. I'm going to do what I want to do and what makes me feel the best. So I just started focusing on my own workouts. I had my own routine, back like 2 years ago. I still have it in one of my notebooks. I had a good time. I really was enjoying working out and not having someone on the internet tell me that it's not a good workout.
My journey through CrossFit has had a huge impact on my mental health. Through CrossFit, I learned to be patient, to accept failure, and most importantly, to focus on myself. It's not always easy, but through it all, I'll always be here 6 days a week, 4 weeks a month, and 12 months a year.